happening, Magnus sites? So, a couple of people have written me about this, and I don't really know what is going on here. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to the mighty nerdrotic. We're going to see what he has to say about this. Word is that, let's see, what's his name has it? Amazon MGM now has the rights to James Bond. If there's any indication of it being anything like what they've done to Lord of the Rings, then it truly is doomed. Oh. When did he do that? Was that a rendering?
Greetings, you over 1 million awakening wonders and the 40% who haven't subscribed yet. Our good friends in the UK have taken a lot of kicks in the bollocks lately, and unfortunately it looks like another one is on the way. Because another beloved...
Yo, that scene right there is, it's excruciating, man. And dude was he flipped him over. He was ready to take him right off, man. Woo! James Bond got saved in that moment.
British intellectual property has been taken over by an American company, and even in the best of times, that isn't good news, and quite frankly, we haven't had the best record of late, including but not limited to Doctor Who, which, to be fair, was already on the downhill slide.
Can't believe they thought Doctor Who was going to work after those changes that they made.
The first female Doctor played by Jodie Whittaker, and retconning the first Doctor played by William Hartnell into a little black girl, putting the longest-running sci-fi series in history on the verge of cancellation. Until, in the 11th hour, it was saved by Disney, who immediately finished it off, turning the Doctor, the reluctant god Time Lord, from Gallifrey with the unwavering moral compass and the 1,000-year stare, into a crying, insufferable twat. And now the show is once again on the verge of cancellation. And of course there's Amazon's The Rings of Power, where Jeff Bezos and his ilk at their mail ordering company.
Watched that first season. Beautiful, but terrible. Boring. And did not watch the second season. To hell with it.
Decided that the beloved inspiration...
Don't worry, I got Invincible coming. I know.
...and worldwide best-selling works of J.R.R. Tolkien were outdated, and turning the Lord of the Rings series into the face of a necessary redress of balance and casting diverse characters as an act of defiance so it could reflect the Los Angeles they live in today. And the only thing this managed to accomplish was losing 2/3 of your audience in successive seasons and turning Sauron into a crying, insufferable twat. And Amazon, for some reason, picked it up for a season 3, which is great news for content creators who want to put a second story on their pool, but bad news for everyone else, and it gets worse because these are the morons in charge of James Bond now. James Bond shocker. Amazon MGM gains control of 007 franchise as producers Barbara Broccoli and Michael G. Wilson step back. Now, obviously, James Bond is
that broccoli or broccoli? How do you spell broccoli? Because that looks like broccoli to me. Let me see here. Could be very similar spelling. Broccoli. Yeah, that's broccoli. That's broccoli. Yeah, so I thought you spelled it. Barbara Broccoli. I'm actually surprised he didn't say that because he likes to make fun of everybody's names and their professions.
Barbara Broccoli and Michael G. Wilson step back. Now, obviously, James Bond is not just an intellectual property. It's a British institution. Men wanted to be him. Women wanted to be with him. The gadgets, the guns, the cars, the license to kill, and lots of shagging. Well, at least until Daniel Craig's James Bond came around, which admittedly started out with the banger Casino Royale, one of the best Bond films ever made. But
that's the only one of his that I own. As a matter of fact, it's the only James Bond film that I own. Wasn't a fan of Remington Steele as James Bond. Just didn't work for me. Maybe I'll try to go back and watch his. I didn't see him as James Bond when I was a kid when he started playing him. So I just never gave him a chance. You know what I'm saying? I was never huge into James Bond anyway. But when I was growing up, Roger Moore was my James Bond. That's who I thought of as James Bond. There was a guy, I think, in the 90s or the late 80s or something that came out. He only did one. And I thought he was a cool looking James Bond. He only did one movie. And I always thought Daniel Craig looked really cool as James Bond, so I think I've seen all of his.
And it slowly devolved into the self-loathing sad Bond who rode bitch on a moped behind black female 007, who turned into a crying, insufferable twat who eventually walked into a bunch of missiles to put us all out of our misery.
Yeah.
That being said, I would still rather have it in the hands of Broccoli and Wilson than what we're getting. Amazon MGM Studios is set to take creative control of the James Bond franchise.
Time for that Superman face.
Just sure to shake and indeed stir the industry was made Thursday alongside news that the longtime producers and custodians of 007, Wilson and Broccoli, will be stepping back. As per details of the historic agreement, no price on it yet, Amazon MGM Studios, Wilson and Broccoli have formed a new joint venture to house the James Bond intellectual property rights. The three parties will remain co-owners of the iconic franchise, but Amazon MGM will have creative control, which admittedly is an interesting turn of events considering that just 2 months ago, Barbara Broccoli called Amazon a bunch of fucking idiots. James Bond
Really?
producer slams Amazon as fucking idiots report. Barbara Broccoli is said to be feuding with the company over the future of the super spy and how to maximize the character's potential. Because at the time, and I totally agree with...
Well, if in this day and time, after people speaking, boycotting, and Trump being elected, and America knowing exactly what Americans want now, they go in a stupid direction, then they deserve everything they get.
with her, she was fighting back against a Bond cinematic universe. During negotiations for the deal, Amazon committed to debuting Bond films in theaters first, which is good, but how long's the window, rather than streaming, the journal wrote. But when executives suggested bringing Bond into the Amazon universe with something like a TV show, a spin-off for the Moneypenny character, or even a female 007 series, Broccoli's response was often said to be the same. Did you read the contract? Again, at the time, according to the Wall Street Journal, Barbara Broccoli said that she doesn't think Amazon was a good fit for Bond. The outlet wrote that she can hold Bond hostage from Amazon as long as she sees fit, and quotes a line from her dad in justification. Don't have temporary people make permanent decisions. At other times, she has used her own words, referring to the people at Amazon as fucking idiots. Well, now, obviously, something has changed in the last couple of months, and my best guess is Broccoli took a shitload of money from a bunch of fucking idiots. Broccoli commented, "My life has been dedicated to maintaining and building upon the extraordinary legacy that was handed to Michael and me by our father, producer Cubby Broccoli. I have the honor of working closely with 4 of the tremendously talented actors who played 007 and thousands of wonderful artists within the industry. With the conclusion of No Time to Die, Michael and I are retiring from films with our shitload of money, and I feel it's time to focus on my other projects with our shitload of money." And that sucks. Despite my loathing of No Time to Die, the Daniel Craig movies did pretty well, and again, it's because they were in the hands of Barbara Broccoli, who as recently as 2 months ago said the new James Bond must be British and a man. I'll just add a couple of things to this. A straight white man, believe it or not. I'm going to be fair to Amazon. With their series, it's been hit and miss. Okay, far more miss.
Yeah, I've heard they were throwing around making him gay. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
Than hit, but if they take the approach to James Bond as far as the source material is concerned as they did with, say, Terminalist or Reacher, then maybe they have a chance. If they
I still have to watch Reacher. I watched that first episode so I could see if it was good, and I was like, okay, this is what I'm talking about. Testosterone. We got it. Ain't no little T here. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna get to it.
Take the Rings of Power, Wheel of Time, later seasons of The Boys route, they're cooked. And no, the later seasons of The Boys are not good. The show has become a parody of itself, and the comics are far superior, and I'm not saying that just because I'm in Amazon in Hollywood considering the last decade.
I gotta see if there's a graphic novel with all of them in it. Order that joint.
have not earned our benefit of the doubt. But if you want to look forward to this or be cautiously optimistic, don't let me slow your roll. But based on past properties, I think it's far more likely that James Bond's going to look like this here. But in another interesting turn of events, Jeff Bezos crowdsourcing the next James Bond. Amazon chief asks fans who should be 007 on X. Oh, look, Jeff Bezos.
Oh, well, everyone's going to say Henry Cavill. I think Henry Cavill will win in a landslide if you're asking the fans. So I guess we've got Henry Cavill as 007. Unless they plan on woking it up and he doesn't agree with it because, Henry's not down with the woke. So, yeah.
Wants to be cool like Elon Musk. Well, you've got a long way to go, but a good start will be firing Jennifer Salke, firing everybody involved with the Rings of Power, canceling the Rings of Power, canceling the Wheel of Time, and bringing back that Conan series, and then we can talk. There I go being a negative Nelly again. What do I know? This could be great. What the hell? I'm going to be optimistic. I'm looking forward to a trans Moneypenny story. I'm looking forward to a Q that stands for queer. Bring on the all-female Bond series, and when I mean all-female, I mean all-female cast.
I won't be watching none of them.
And we got the perfect casting for Jane Bond, who was recently cast as Jesus Christ. Nosferatu, let's go. Disney has Baby Groot and Baby Yoda.
God, I knew she reminded me of somebody. Oh my God, I could not for the life of me figure out who she reminded me of. He just said it. Oh my God.
Yoda, you could have Baby Oddjob, Baby Jaws, Baby Blofeld, and the opportunities for reimagining Bond films for the modern audience are endless. Dr. No means no. Goldfingered on They Them's Majesty's Secret Service, The Man with the Golden Gun Control, You'll Only Vote Twice, Moon Racism, and The Guy Who Loved Me. But there's also Live and Let DEI, Tomorrow Never DEI's, DEI Another Day, and No Time to DEI. But in all seriousness, I think it's prudent to point out that the big news in Hollywood today was another giant corporation has bought out another beloved yet aging franchise that I am a huge fan of, and it was met with a collective, it's gonna suck. And with all of Hollywood's troubles right now, this should trouble them the most, because that's what your industry is now. Netflix and the side hustle of a cell phone manufacturer and a mail order company, who will probably cast Carlos Sofia Gaston as James Bond. To be fair, he'll still be a dude. And no, the irony is not lost on me that James Bond is now in the hands of a Bond villain. nerdrotic.com. If you like what you heard, please like it. If you didn't like what you heard, I thank you for listening this long. I will see you in the next video.
This is just how I'm saying it. If they would make the same dumb decisions now, in this day and age, now, they haven't even broken ground on it to start making anything. If they're dumb enough to do what they've been doing, then this is what it is. They will crumble into the ground. They will be smoldering cinders of a company. And they'll do the same to all of their IPs. So we shall see, folks. We shall see. Get over and follow Nerdrotic. Tell them Tyrone Magnus sent you. 10 million subscribers. Woo! Bum, 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 bum.